All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be touching on my favorite bets here for the Wells Fargo Championship and the Myrtle Beach Classic. I want to start with my favorite bet, EV-wise, so let's go ahead and get into that. So last week, the best EV bet that we had was Keith Mitchell to make the cut on DraftKings, where the payout was, slightly better. And so that was my favorite bet last week, and that ended up paying off. He ended up having a very good week. To me, my favorite bet is going to be this top one that's popping up as well. Shane Lowry to have a top 20 finish. Okay, we can see on DraftKings, PointsBet, and FanDuel, you are getting a much better payout there if he were to top 20 in comparison to the other sites. The average odds that we are getting there are about 1.62 to 1, whereas on those other sites, you're getting at 1.9 to 1, which is very good. You place a $10 bet, you're going to get about $2.84 back in return. So that's a very good EV bet there. And the biggest concern with someone like Shane Lowry is that he hasn't had good course history here. Miscut last year, 65th place finish the year prior to that. So not the best course history. He's coming in off of that team victory. Maybe that'll mean some good vibes for him going forward, but he has been a cut maker. And if we look at his game log, prior to the start, two events ago and 3 events ago, top 20, top 20, top 20. He is a consistent golfer. This should be a course that fits his game. The data kind of says that 17th best specialist, 12th best in recent form, 15th best staff at 23rd in the 9-5 miles. So not exactly a lock to be a top 20 bet, but I think that's why we are getting that good expected value there. And then just some other good expected value bets that we are getting, not that much. And I would say we really don't have to force anything. Let's look at it in terms of outright wise. Outright wise, if you are placing a bet on Rory, you'd want to do it on Bovada or BetMGM. Not that much, but like a 0.5 difference when he's at 7.5 to 1 to win, that actually does add up. That's decent. Patrick Cantlay on FanDuel and PointsBet is decent compared to some of the other sites. You get Wyndham Clark on some sites, 16 to 1. So, this is all about making the best decision possible you can each week. And just make sure you're doing that because that stuff will add up. And if you guys are someone that does bet on multiple sites, this is a great resource to use. It tells you right away, like let's say you wanted to bet on Wyndham Clark, that's something I'm going to be doing. This tells me right away that I want to be betting on Wyndham Clark on FanDuel, PointsBet, or DraftKings. That's what this tool is instantly telling us. Let's say, for instance, if I wanted to bet on Adam Scott, I would want to be betting on him on Bovada. Okay, that's a great way to go about using this tool. But with that, let's go ahead and get into my favorite bets for this week. So I want to get into 3 of my favorite placement bets, and that's going to be some top 20 bets, okay? So it's a 70-man field. These are still going to be good enough payouts for you guys. So Adam Shanks is going to be one of those guys. He ranks out top 20 in the 9-5 model, actually top 15 in the 9-5 model. So we are getting a decent amount of value there per the 9-5 data. So the odds should be a little bit better than what they are. So you can get him at 1.7 to 1 on some of the sites for him to top 20. That's a very decent bet there. Again, around top 18 in the model. So that's very good. We also are getting Taylor Moore and Austin Eckroat, where they don't exactly rank out top 20 in the 9-5 model, but they are still a good enough value, especially at the odds that you're getting them at in a 70-man field event. It really doesn't take much for plays like that where they've been playing well. They just don't have enough name value to really give them boosted odds and salary for DFS purposes. So those two, I really like. You get Taylor Moore at 2.4 to 1 to top 20, and then you also get Austin Eckroat 2.3 to 1 to top 20. Interesting. I would actually probably flip that. I would say Moore has a better chance to top 20. That is certainly interesting there. And then one player that I'm certainly on the fence on this week is Nick Taylor. If you look at him DFS-wise, he's almost minimum priced. And he is someone that can have these spike weeks. Like you see him mile rank 49th in the 9-5 mile. Not good at all. But I'll just pull up his profile on DraftKings here. And so what you're going to see is his form has been spiky, where he had a 7th place finish followed by a miscut, 52nd sandwiched in between there. First place finish, and then followed up by a 39th, and then a 71st, and then a 12th. And so in a 70-man field event, I do think that could potentially be worthwhile. It's not something I want to go crazy with. All right, so betting-wise, it's a really slim list. I could really argue that it should just be Xander and Wyndham Clark as your only outright bets that you should be on. But I do see a path where Matt Fitzpatrick does win this event. This is an event that does set up really well for his game. Siwoo Kim has been playing extremely well. Didn't have his A game last week and still managed a pretty desirable result. Top 20 finish there for him. And then Harris English, this is kind of another player that I think, given the odds that we are getting this week, his game does set up well for this track. So let's touch on all 5 of those. This could be a week in which I don't feel like we need to outright, but I actually think we're getting better odds at the Myrtle Beach Classic. I think that's where we should be putting an emphasis on our bankroll. But let's go ahead and get into these 5 bets. So starting out with Xander Schauffele, at this event, he has finished 2nd and 14th. He's going to be some of the best in terms of stat fit wise. Effective scoring, that 9-5 stat ranks out first there. Ball striking, 5th in the field, 14th in greens gain, and 10th in bogey avoidance. I mean, just look across this data sheet here, guys. Nothing in the yellow. We're starting to get there with recent form where him and Patrick Cantlay didn't exactly finish that well at the Zurich Classic. Besides that, he's well overdue for a victory. This week does set up well for him to win. And then obviously having like someone like Aubert out, I think that's a good thing for him. Now, Wyndham Clark is the defending champ, but he is also someone that is coming in looking like a great play. Now, he's not coming in as good into this event as he was last year, but he is still a strong stat fit, top 10 or better in all the key stats that we're looking at this week, coming in off of the 3rd place finish. But if we look at his profile, we're going to see that he has been a little bit hit or miss thus far this season. I mean, 3rd, 3 bad starts, second. So he has been there, and this is going to be a good event for him. The track just sets up extremely well. And it's funny, I've seen some narratives saying, well, Wyndham Clark turns up for these bigger events, these signature events, which could be true. But at the same time, a lot of these signature events are events that have demanded the same kind of style of player to do well somewhat. I wouldn't say all the events, but it does make sense why he's been playing well at said events. And then, for me, Matt Fitzpatrick, he's coming in top 8 in the 9-5 model. Just not as good of a play in comparison to some of the other guys. Now, he does have course experience here, finishing 35th at this event last year. Apologies to anyone that watched the DFS video. I forgot to take out the 2022 results. That's on me. Kind of just slipped my mind with the 2 events that are going on. Obviously want to prioritize getting some picks and bets out there for the Myrtle Beach Classic, because that's going to be a big edge week as well. But looking at Matt Fitzpatrick, I hate to keep referencing this with his driver, but since he figured out his driver, and we can see it, guys, he's had much better form. 28th, 22nd, 10th, 5th. Before that, we were seeing mixed results with him. He couldn't figure out his driver. Had a weight in his driver grip. Shout out to the person in the comments that explained to me how that works. It does make sense now. But looking at it, like top 12 stat fit, does have course experience like that. Specialist 14th in the field. If we look at his last 5 starts, he actually would rank out 5th in the field. Again, looking back as to when he made that change with his driver, been playing extremely well. So he is someone that I think we should be looking at. If everything goes right, I do see him having a chance to win. And then, yes, we are seeing Siwoo Kim is popping up as the 5th best pick in the 9-5 model. He is just a better version of Matt Fitzpatrick on paper. 13 straight make cuts in a row. Course experience here, 43rd. Again, we would want a better finish out of him, but top 5 specialist, top 4 or top 5 stat fit, and then top 10 in recent form, right? Just checking all the boxes across the board. Siwoo Kim is a play that just makes a ton of sense. His bad result last week was a 13th place finish. Like, we were disappointed that he finished 13th. Still a great finish for him. Didn't exactly have it going on Sunday. I do want to point out Alex Noren, guys. Like, I'm surprised he's not ranking out better, to be honest with you. 12th best specialist. It's the miscut at this event last year that's really hurting him data wise. At the same time, with this being like a no cut event and him playing extremely well, like 8th best stat fit, 4th best in recent form, I think he's going to make for a great PGA Championship like outright winner. I'm very curious to see how he does this week. I'm surprised that the day doesn't like him, because I do like him a decent amount. Pricing wise, he is priced up a little bit too much DFS wise, but outright wise, I think you could get there. And then I mentioned Harris English here, guys. Harris English is someone that has been a little bit hit or miss as well lately, which I don't love. Like, we see a top 10 place finish mixed in there, a bunch of top 20 finishes mixed in there. Heck, now that I'm looking at this, he probably does make for a great top 20 bet. That's probably one of my favorite bets there. But at this event, finished 3rd, and then 2 made cuts, which is not terrible, but he is someone that really just across the board data-wise, I mean, look at this. The one data point that we're really worried about recently is going to be that start 3 events ago where he missed the cut. Other than that, everything's basically in the green or yellow. That's an easy way to look at it. He's looking like a pretty solid, safe play on paper. And so, yeah, for me, outright-wise, I do agree with those 5 that we are getting there. I think they're all pretty strong bets, especially at their numbers. Let's toss in Alex Noren here just to see what his odds are. Like, if they're greater than 60-1, I'm going to go for it. I don't think they're going to be. Yeah, 45-1 is the best one for him. FanDuel-wise points bet, you can get that there. I'm okay with that. I don't know if I exactly love that. And then Harris English, I just want to see what his other odds were real quick. Top 20 specifically. Top 20, 1.7-1 to the top 20. I'm okay with that. I think that's a good bet as well. That's not going to be... Actually, I probably do like that better than Shane Lowry. I think that'd be my favorite bet to go with is Harris English to top 20. But now let's make a pivot and let's get into the Myrtle Beach Classic. All right, so to get into the cheat sheet for this, just click PGA 2, and so that's going to pull it up here. And so you guys will notice, one, we're not getting any DFS salaries just yet for this, unfortunately, but I do want to call it, we are getting some very good odds. Now, Kelly Craft's odds have shifted a little bit. since yesterday, but they're still going to be good odds. Davis Thompson, someone that could get hot and potentially win, but no one's going to have course experience here. And I do need to update the data a little bit more so to see how many, because you see all these players that don't have a pitcher. Those are players that I just need to update the data to see stuff like this. I want to see which golfers, if any of these top end golfers have South Carolina ties. Ben Martin has South Carolina ties. All right, so he already ranks out top 7 in the 9 to 5 mile, which is already someone that's firmly on my list to win. But let's look at his odds. So Ben Martin to win is at 65-1 odds. Those are pretty good. I think that's a good outright bet. Again, he ranks out top 7 in the 9 to 5 model already. Has the South Carolina ties. I'm not sure if he's ever played this course. You would imagine so, right? Yeah, it's looking like a good play on paper there. Oh, we are still getting Kelly Craft. 75-1 for Kelly Craft. He's coming in as the second best pick in the 9 to 5 mile this week. That is crazy. That's like egregious. And I phrased it that way too because he is someone that I've seen other people be on already this week. It's not like it's just me, like with the Brice Garnett stuff, and he's ranking out well. Like, this is a good pick, stat fit wise. Again, we're using more general stats this week because we've never seen this course played. Ball striking last 10 events, strokes gained total driving, and then strokes gained approach. So third in the field in ball striking over the past 10 starts. Could be a little bit better strokes gained total. I get that. First in total driving, and then fourth in strokes gained approach. He has been playing well recently as well. Like, it's kind of a clear good bet that you should be making this week. And looking at guys, like, it's not like he's been terrible over his past 4 starts. And if we go back further, like, look at all these top 25 finishes. Like, he's probably going to be a good bet for you guys to bet to, let's just say, top 40. I would imagine we're getting a decent market on that, or will be getting a decent market on that for Kelly Craft. If we don't get that, maybe top 20. But he makes for a great outright bet as well. Really like the long shot nature of those two. And then from there, we're not going to get too crazy. We're just going to go based off of what the board's telling us. So EVR is the best pick in the 9 to 5 model. You can get him at 25-1. That is what I love about these events. And you don't have to go crazy with it. Again, you could potentially just bet these guys to top 40. Right? Like, that's fine. I already mentioned Kelly Craft as like a good top 40 bet. That's a very good line. -105. Like, I'll take that any day of the week. That is an awesome bet there for him. And then while we're here, let's just take a peek at Ben Martin, -110. So still not bad. Like, we're getting 2 very good lines on those two. Just 2 top 40. Oh, I love these secondary events. There's so much juice in them. Other 2 play bets I like, Justin Lauer, who's just been playing really well, top to win, 40-1. Andrew Novak's been playing pretty well. He's ranking out 3rd best in the 9 to 5 model. Okay, 5 straight make cuts for both of those 2, and so you can get those 2 at 40-1. Again, that is what I love about the Myrtle Beach Classic and these secondary events in general. Is just you're getting very good lines on golfers that we shouldn't be getting those lines on. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. Then we saw Ben Griffin popping up, 28-1 for a guy that's ranking out 5th in the 9 to 5 mile. That's great. Went with Ben Martin. And then, are there any kind of long shot bets that we could potentially be on? Victor Perez is okay, but he would have been better a couple weeks ago. Jacob Bridgman maybe potentially pops here. Lanto Griffin is looking decent. Russell Knox is looking decent. But I don't think we need to go crazy with it. I think we got the list down. So for now, Ben Martin outright, Kelly Craft outright. I think those are both going to be great top 20 bets for you. Then EVR 25-1, Justin Lauer 40-1, Andrew Novak 40-1, and then Ben Griffin 28-1. Really love the odds that we are getting this week. But that's going to be all for this video, guys. I appreciate you watching. Again, make sure to give a like and subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers really before the PGA Championship. I'd love to get there after it as well if that doesn't happen. But just show support to the channel. I do appreciate that. That's going to be all for this video. If you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, they're available for just $10 a month. $10 a month for you guys. Best value out there for fantasy golf. Best value out there for fantasy sports really in general. You can't beat that. Gives you access to the Discord chat and all the tools that you just saw. Really, I priced it that way for you guys. No one can beat that. That's going to be all for today's video. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Again, if you guys want access to those tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Available for just $10 a month. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck this week. And as always, let's keep cashing.